Hello everybody! So in this video, I will display some of the creatures I have created and kind of explain what they are and where they come from. I will collectively refer to all my creatures as Vieshkai, kind of like how people are collectively called humans. If there are any questions not answered in this video about any of the Vieshkai, please put them in the comments down below and I will answer. Alright, so let's get into it. First, we'll go with the Pondako. Pondakos love eating grass. For some creatures, I guess parts of the earth can be pretty tasty. They absolutely do not like eating snow or ice. It's just way too cold for them. Pondakos can be really clueless, and they can also be really smart. They have no sense of safety when it comes to their own lives, but if someone is hurt, they will protect and aid that person with their lives. Because of things like this, Pondakos are supervised almost 24/7. Pondakos almost went extinct because of their lack of sense of safety. But now that they're supervised, the population is returning. The life expectancy before Pondakos were supervised was 15 to 45 years, and now it's 75 to 120 years. Some extra info. Pondakos usually live in colder areas, which is pretty ironic since they don't like eating the ice or snow. On the outside, Pondakos can withstand pretty much any cold temperatures. On the inside, Pondakos are kind of like furnaces. A Pondako could eat lava for breakfast and be completely fine. If they really need to, Pondakos will eat snow and ice. However, if they eat too much of it, that internal furnace will go out. Don't be fooled by the height of a Pondako, because an elder Pondako may be 2'11", and a teen Pondako may be 5 feet tall. Really depends. Alright, now let's go over to the Emspirs. Emspirs love eating anything spicy. It can differ between each one, but most will go through anything to have that spicy treat. And honestly, they don't really have a least favorite food. They will eat anything. Especially since poisonous food doesn't exactly harm them. Emspirs and Chitsa, which we will meet very soon, are spirits whose physical or human body died. Most Emspirs live for 100 to 300 years. Emspirs will pass away when they feel the world has nothing left to offer them, or they feel like they're just ready to move on. Some extra info. When Emspirs transform into Chitsa, their age resets. They're usually lazy creatures and don't usually travel far from where their physical or human body passed. They'll usually keep to themselves unless they recognize another soul, physical, human form, or as another Emspir or Chitsa. Emspirs also do not speak. They communicate by changing their colors. Alright, now moving on to Chitsa. The Chitsa love apples. They especially love the apples that have some extra juice in them. They love the crunching sound as well. However, they're not too fond of popcorn. They don't mind the smell of it. However, the process of popping popcorn absolutely terrifies them. Emspirs will turn into Chitsa when the spirit finds a purpose. Most are known for protecting and fighting for other Chitsa and Emspirs. Most live for about 200 to 800 years. If the spirit feels it no longer has a purpose, the spirit will finally move on and will not revert back into an Emspir. Some extra info. They are known to be nocturnal. However, some Chitsa like to stay up during the day to watch the sun rise and fall. Chitsa are also known to be very cuddly when they get tired. They will usually huddle together when it's time to rest. Groups of sleeping Chitsa are known to seem like an angry or evil spirit, so many other creatures get scared and run away. On the contrary, Chitsa are usually pretty friendly and welcoming. Once Emspirs transform into Chitsa, they do develop the ability to speak in their own language. They are even able to learn languages of other beings using telepathy. Now moving on to the Kimikora. Kimikora don't need to consume anything to live, and they also don't really have an appetite for anything. Kimikora do appear when the soul of a corpse is forgotten about. Nobody is sure how long a Kimikora can live for. Some Kimikora fade away and reappear again when someone remembers their soul. Some extra info. Kimikora love to travel, which makes them wonderful tour guides for unknown areas. A Kimikora can sense if another creature is lost or in need of help. Kimikora also do not make any noise. They do not speak. They do, however, understand every language of any creature. Now, attacks of any kind will not work on Kimikora. If the predator is consistent, the Kimikora will lead the predator into an unfamiliar area. Long story short, if you piss one off, good luck finding your way home. Some of them are not really social. Some are. However, they will always be there to guide you when you need them to. Many don't show emotion or have a hard time of showing emotion. This makes them seem clueless. But don't be fooled, because they can be pretty intelligent. When they allow you to put your hand on their head or their skull, it will allow the Kimikora to show you some of their memories through their journey as a Kimikora, or some faded memories from when they were human. In a sense, that's their way of communicating. They're usually found by forests, or near more mysterious and potentially dangerous areas. Now you may be thinking that the Kimikora and Chitsas and Emspirs are the same thing, so how do they differ? Well, the Kimikora is the soul. The Chitsas and the Emspirs are the spirit of those that have passed away. The Google difference is your soul speaks of your inner life in relation to your own experience, your mind, heart, will, and imagination. It also includes your thoughts, desires, passions, and dreams. But your spirit speaks of the same inner life in relation to God, your faith, hope, love, character, and perseverance. So, could the soul of a Kimikora and the spirit of an Emspir or Chitsa come from the same person? Potentially, yes. But it is very, very rare to meet both of them, or have both of them to know each other. Now moving on to the Zuchi. Zuchi love sour foods, especially lemons. Now, they're not really fond of any meat. They're basically herbivores. If they see you eating any meat, they might gag or hide. Zuchi have always been loyal companions and usually stick around farmers for extra fruits and veggies. And because most farmers are usually pretty considerate of Zuchi not liking meat. If a Zuchi is bonded to a human, they will die when that person dies. If a Zuchi isn't bonded to a human, they will live up to 80 to 125 years. Some extra info. Zuchi love cuddles and head rubs. When Zuchi get too happy, like a dog, they'll try to find something to bite or nibble on to calm themselves down. From birth, Zuchi are able to fluently speak their own language. Zuchi can be taught other languages using telepathy. They'll learn even faster if they learn that language from another Zuchi. Some Zuchi have the specific job of being a translator. You would think that they'd eventually get tired of the job, but they surprisingly don't. If the bulbs on their head and tail start to glow, that means that the Zuchi senses danger. If just the tail bulb starts to glow, that means they feel scared or uneasy. If just the head bulb starts to glow, that means that they are feeling hungry and they're politely asking for food. Now moving on to the Mika. Mika absolutely loves strawberries. The flavor of it is absolutely comforting to them. However, Mika absolutely do not like anything about pineapple. Especially the smell of pineapple just makes them gag. Some Mikan prefer to live in the wild, and others prefers to live among human civilization. Mikan are known to protect, but also appreciate being protected. Most Mikan have started to have longer lives as they adapt more to other creatures. Most have the lifespan of a human and live for about 110 years. Some extra info. Some Mikan have trust issues with other creatures because of past trauma. A long time ago, some creatures turned on the Mikan and started hunting them. It's taken many generations for any Mika to start trusting other creatures again. When the Mikan started to become more hunted, they hid themselves and cut off all communication, even with longtime ally creatures. When trust is built, a Mika can become super cuddly and a loyal companion. Now moving on to the Korva. Korva loves almost anything sweet to eat, but they especially love cookies and cupcakes. Now, their least favorite food is cat litter. Long story short, a lesson was learned worldwide for Korva. While Korva are friendly creatures, they are known for defending and fighting other creatures that can't do so for themselves. People believe that when the Korva didn't know how to fight for themselves, a dying species went to protect them, and the Korva ended up doing the same because of it. Now, not many Korva have to fight anymore, so the life expectancy has risen. Most Korva now live from 200 to 300 years. They are trained to fight when they become a teen. Once they become an adult, they can go off and fight. Some extra info. Korva tend to not pay attention to their own health a lot. Sometimes, the children Korva find the nearest house for assistance with the injured or ill Korva. Korva also overwork themselves a lot, whether it's from fighting or being a helping hand. Some Korva receive memories from other Korva that have since passed. Sometimes this can result in that Korva having the same nightmares as that of the dead Korva. Now moving on to the Atlit. Atlites love bugs and insects. They get their protein. Now, they don't like any cheese, any kind of any sort. In short, cheese is just yucky to them. It's not certain why Atlites appear. As far as anyone can tell, they aren't any kind of spirit, so what are they? Atlites tend to live for 100 to 200 years. For some reason, these creatures are being hunted, so they're now harder to find. Some extra info. Atlites are pretty friendly creatures. However, if you do have a weapon on you, display it out for them before they attack you. Atlites used to be super close with humankind until humankind found them valuable dead. Most Atlites never travel alone since they're now a hunted species. One Atlit stayed loyal to a human family for most of its life. Then, one family member became psychotic and started the hunt on Atlites, starting with the loyal Atlit. If you do befriend an Atlit, don't be surprised if it starts gnawing on your arm or leg. Don't be alarmed. This is a sign of affection. The Atlit won't actually harm you, and if it does, it will non-stop show you affection or find food for you. Atlites communicate by changing their eye color based off of their emotions. Moving on to the Korvii. Now, Korvii love eating lava. It gives them a huge energy boost. And it's just honestly a tasty treat. Their least favorite food is seaweed. Even just looking at it sometimes can make their stomachs turn. This kaiju, or Vieshkai, usually keeps to itself and doesn't normally pick any fights, unless it's with another Korvii. It's rare to see any Korvii, and it can be difficult to tell two different Korvii apart, so no one is truly sure when a Korvii passes. Some extra info. Korvii usually stay in deep parts of the ocean. When a volcano erupts, at least one Korvii is seen traveling to get a taste of their favorite snacks. Cities and towns near the active volcano are prepared for this and evacuate for a few weeks. When coming on land, Korvii are very mindful where they step as to not disturb any other creatures' lives. If you see an area near an inactive volcano that has no trees or signs of human civilization, that would be a safe path that Korvii take to get to that volcano. The zigzag lines on a Korvii can actually open up a bit to release any extra steam. The bigger one on its head actually acts as a second mouth, just without another tongue. Korvii can stay underwater for hundreds of years without needing to open its mouth and without the need of oxygen. Now moving on to Chert. Now, a Chert's favorite food is itself or Chert, the actual rock. It's the only food they'll actually eat. They can eat other kinds of rocks, but for some reason they just won't do it. No one is actually sure how cherts exist or how they reproduce. One day they just kind of appeared out of nowhere. There aren't many cherts, so it can be rare to meet one. If you try and find out a chert's age, they'll make sure it's a difficult process. Some extra info. Sir Chert can learn the language of any creature really quick. Sir Chert is usually a comedian, but will touch on the serious topics when they need to. All Cherts are genderless, but they don't mind being called Sir. When Cherts eat themselves or another, the part that is eaten will slowly regenerate. Sir Chert doesn't need to eat food, but they will to freak out other creatures or just to understand how they taste. Curiosity killed the cat, you know. Cherts usually make their staff or microphone out of their body parts. This project can take about a year to finish. Alright, that's all of the Vieshkai I have information on right now, so stay tuned for more of them in the future. Again, if anyone has any questions about any of the Vieshkai, let me know. I will also have an open project on Casting Call Club called Vieshkai. So, if you want to do any voices for my creatures for fun, head on over there. If you came from Casting Call Club, hi! Thanks for looking at my project. Anyways, that's it for now. Have a good day, night, evening, or whatever. Bye-bye. Please tell me I was recording. Oh, thank God.